Can you see that? I hope that's straight. I can't see it from this side of the card. But there it is. These are the cards that should be handed out at the Comic Cons. This is the stuff I send out in the mail too. And even after all this time, still not getting normal, healthy responses. I guess Canadians are just not into the movie stuff to that extent, like not even wanting extra work or getting work in a up and coming production company when I'm like pretty simple. It's just give me your headshot, black and white color, like $20 to go to the same places you get your photo IDs done and your $20 fee for filing because it takes a lot of computer storage space to file all that stuff and time to do that. And that's it. And where all these other agencies and companies want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And they can't even guarantee you any breaks, work of any kind. But I'm already the writer of the stuff. I do. So that's an absolute guarantee. And if you make me money, like interns are supposed to, then you're guaranteed to make money. Get tip. So all that said and done, welcome back to Now TV Canada. I am your host, Jen, at I Am Just Jen YouTube channel, aka Now TV. It's too complicated to have 100 different channels. There's no point. I've been doing this one for so long that it's a wonder that I don't own YouTube. They owe me a lot of money based on the fact that all of this was being done where we were all creators and making money before all the rules changed. And then they cut off a bunch of us so they would have lots of money in stocks, but they don't actually own the money at a point where none of us could then get our money. So we all experienced a bit of payout and then that was it. So now they're paying out to other people who become creators and make gobs of money, and they only produced 40 videos because they're doing a specific thing like renovating $1 houses or building places in the middle of woods or stuff like that, survival things that become addictive to watch, especially when somebody's really good at it. But I guess what I'm doing apparently isn't unique enough. Maybe Tom Welling isn't popular enough. Maybe Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan and You've Got Mail wasn't good enough. But apparently it's just not enough. Knowing what's happening now or being a part of now isn't now enough. So it is what it is. Eventually, the channel will take off and the videos will blow up. But this video tonight is titled, Let's Talk About Tom Welling. And in the description, I'm like, I never know how to do this. I never know what to say exactly, almost where to start because it's such a mess. There's so much there. In the over a decade of history of unspoken and unshared information from everyone else that knows about me, who's received stuff from me, but are not paid to promote me, or because I'm not connected like Meghan Markle was when she was dating Harry, like to know somebody who knows somebody. And at this point in my life, I just don't need that, right? But I don't want to see next year's touring for everybody out there go to waste. I don't want these Smallville nights and the touring events and the staging events and all that stuff to be repeats of material that everybody already knows well, or has all agreed on about the complaints of the things that were wrong. I want next year's stuff to go really, really well. And, if you're going to do stuff live on stage at the events, that it's fun and that it's interesting and that it's really, really, really good. And my work is just that, really, really, really good. And because it's almost 7:00 tonight, it's like Smallville nights, but I wanted to do like the Let's Talk About Tom Welling video yesterday during the day because I was upset with what I saw about the booking dates for next year. And so I realized I need to get the Let's Talk About Tom Welling Did you know this? I didn't think so. Episode. So we're gonna stay focused on that version first. Then I might have time still or an interest to do a Smallville Nights version on Now TV of what I think people should have been paying for this whole time that the movie work has been available to do just that with. Uh, and you'll have to make that assessment for yourself on just how good it is. Um, I'm not worried about him because I have a solution and he'll like the solution. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, this is the best thing I've ever read in my life. But take the whole box set, throw it in the garbage. Well, let's just start the whole entire show all over again from the beginning with you as the writer, producer, and director, because you make an entire 10-year season of the TV show better than the whole 10 years I spent playing this character on the show. I guess I just got a lot of rehearsal, practice, and kind of Tom Welling. And that is the key point of this episode. Who is Tom Welling? Do you know Tom Welling? What do you know about him? Can you talk about Tom Welling like I can, like I do, like I am? Um, how do you know when you know what you know, right? Have you been around long enough? Have you followed? Um, are you able to see the signs? There's things about people in general. We're all kind of like this. When you're looking for the right people in your life to be in your life, there's just certain things you're not going to divulge. There's just certain antics, behaviors, and ways of being that are just natural. And when you want what is right, when you want what is natural, you're not going to go out of your way to try to compensate for that on behalf of somebody else in which you want to find you or find a way into your life. And Tom, for how long I've been around, because I'm older than him, just like Jamie White, uh, has never changed. He has been the same the whole time. So I'm talking my Tom Welling. Um, Jamie White loved a Tom Welling. Granted, she loved what she understood and knew of that same Tom Welling, but there's a line on his career and it progressing and his growing on camera and the things he's doing away from her versus what she's doing behind the scenes at home or not doing on set in the writer's room or reading wise. And so then there's a separation, a distance of communication and not understanding what he's doing at work on set with the co-stars. I think I mentioned that yesterday. This, of course, leads to complications in many, many relationships. It's often noted in understanding that artists need to be with other artists. Now, you don't have to always be dancer to dancer and musician to musician. You just need to be in the same industry and understand each other by way of what that industry means, what the elements are all about, what the sacrifices are. Um, but as far as friendship, honesty, truth, realism, as far as being able to separate the person from the characters they play and understanding the signs and signals of when they're tired, exhausted, frustrated, have the heebie jeebies, um, or just wish they could have somebody understand them on a deeper level and be closer with them without having to explain themselves every single day, without having to talk about it, without having to open their mouth and say words after you've worked all day long doing just that, saying words, putting on face, cover, bravado, whatever, always in character. And so when you're off camera, you kind of sometimes forget who you are, forget yourself. You're not able to just let loose and relax and just go back to being that person anymore, because somewhere in that flux of time, you kind of lose yourself. You lose that groundedness, you lose that reality. And that is what the point of having the right people in your life is for and all about. And so that becomes the complication. And I can confess for Tom Welling that he's not going to change about these secret things, about these important little things, details. I don't know what that's going to mean for his future um, in that area. But I know that I'm in it for the long haul. I'm here, I'm around, I'm not going anywhere. My career is good, it's stable, my work is big. I'm big enough, and it's going to work out for me no matter what. Um, and I have all kinds of options and other things while I wait for him to go, okay, I throw in the towel. I want to go over there and do something new. And we're going to catch up on all this other stuff in other characters and other orders of fun that can be had, and then move forward there. What I do know is romantically, artistically, um, and experience wise, he's not going to give people the answers. He's not going to tell them what he wants or what he doesn't want, what he needs or doesn't need, because he wants it to be natural. Needs it to be natural. I need it to be natural. You need it to be natural. At least we should need it to be natural in order for it to feel right. To know that you know, okay, this is the right friendship. This is the right trust bond. This is the right person. This is where I want to be. This is the person I want to have be there, where you don't have to explain yourself or communicate things on levels that they already know because they've taken the time to read about it, watch it, listen, learn, observe, study, whatever it is, emotions, psychology, whatever, the family history, things like that, details of favorite places of growing up, how many places you've moved to, how often, what you did or didn't like, uh, what do you not have enough experience in, not enough concerts, music, theater experiences, books, movies, and what to introduce to a person. How about just cards, or Valentine's, roses, or chocolates, homemade treats? What is missing that to do right for that person that's needing that, without having to, do like the dating game thing and be like the most popular single bachelor looking for that, in an advertising way, because we shouldn't have to do it like that. So, what I wanted to do was ground us in this. Let's talk about Tom Welling, and go with poetry. I wrote lots of it, and it wasn't obviously all about Tom Welling. It's just I'm a writer, and this is what I've been doing for decades and decades and decades, like since I was a teenager. But some of them were inspired by the idea of certain episodes, certain storylines that are all around characters he's played and himself as the Tom I know him to be. And I have this one poem where there's a cartoon in it that reflects who Clark is to me, who the right Superman is in cartoon, and who he should be, instead of that terrible long chin face character that they have posted in their podcast between them, and how they make him look ugly, so ugly, bad. Like there is a bad side in that bad way sense of Tom. When I'm like, does Tom really have that kind of bad side? Can you really make good look bad and bad look good, in the sense of how uh, bad you've made his good look? I'm like, if you go all the way back to the movies, like playing Charlie Baker, he didn't have a bad side. That doesn't exist in the right Tom, the real Tom. It's not there. And so it's really offensive. It's wrong. It's bad. And there's nothing wrong with being good and looking good. And it's better to have a character in cartoon that truly resembles, more or less, Charlie Baker and Tom and Clark as we know him and have watched him grow up for our sakes, for entertaining us on screen. So I wanted to show everybody that version of Clark. So that is right. Right? That is Tom as Charlie Baker Clark. Specifically, you can see by the newspaper, the pile of paper. So that's not necessarily Lois Lane, uh, but that would be his Superwoman. And in this case, this is the new character in my story, for instance, uh, where maybe she's, dating somebody else and making a huge confession that maybe he didn't know. Right. And so in this situation, in this poem, she's with the guy that she's with, and then she sees him, and then this moment happens, this big aha moment, and he doesn't know. She's never let on how much, right? And so she's like, oh, this is it. I have to. And that's where you see the rosy cheeks and the blushing in there. And it's so right. So the poem's called He's Not You. And this is related to that term most famously known for us when we do the wrong thing, called settling. We shouldn't do it. It might seem like a good idea at the time, but your first time as a woman, for instance, after having a baby, for instance, that was not really done out of the right commitments and reasons, that first postpartum depression will let you know. It'll let your soul know what is wrong. And it's not a pretty feeling. I have had girlfriends go through this more than once, and they've been pretty sick. It's not pretty. Stick with real love. Now okay, so I'm just going to go on with the poem. It's called He's Not You. He's not you. There he is. He'll do. It's a match. But he's not you. He'll take care of me and give me what I need. He'll be a man, so I don't have to be. He'll work hard, educate the kids, buy or build me a home so I can live happily, playing my music, writing good songs. He'll just love me when things go right or wrong. So there he is. He'll do. It's a match, but he's not you. Playing footsies under the covers in bed or under the table at dinner time in a restaurant, watching me, trying to eat, as I do that stuff to his legs, with my cute little toes on my perfect feet. Now on to evening, after we've returned to our someplace special, we snuggle up side by side on a cold winter's night, fireside, a place blazing with romance, easy enough to forget the world, as cute little bugs in a rug, and the lifetime there he and I have to share. But he's not you. That's my point about what people do when it comes to settling. So in this cartoon, standing there with the other guy and all of that going through her mind in that moment, going, I have to change that destiny, right? And so he's now finding out, and he's like, what? Huh? But I didn't know. How come you didn't tell me sooner? Like, that changes everything. So that's how important this kind of stuff was to the TV show. And one of the reasons the show petered out, right? It's one of the reasons everybody was having problems. I want to read another one, but it takes me a few minutes to find it. So just bear with me while I try to link through all the pages. If he was enjoying that, if he was getting that, if that stuff was there, then he would have some interest, passion, desire. There would be some momentum for Clark to build on, for Clark to enjoy about, girls. There would be something to, go to the talent and enjoy, like open mic nights and talent nights. There, found it. I wrote a poem, and it was meant for Clark, and it was called Clark. But then I had a contest show up where I have this posted on my Vocal Media profile, and it needed to be one letter less. And so because it was meant for Clark, and because Tom plays Clark, because he's also Charlie Baker, and Charlie had too many letters in it. I had to use his name, so I called it Tom. And I can't find the original Clark poem. And I liked the idea of having an episode or a moment in the scene where Tom is being Clark and saying to me, "Oh, how lucky is this Tom guy listening to Janet say this poem at the poetry reading at the Talon?" Uh, like if there was that poem written for him in his name, and then she's like confessing that to him. Oh, well, it was actually meant to be, something I was thinking about you when I wrote. But because of the sake of the contest, I had to shorten it. So I just changed the name. And then he's like, "Oh, well, do you have the original copy? Right? I'd like to hear the version that you had written for me." Um, so unfortunately, I still haven't found that version. I probably can take the time to rewrite it. But this is how fun things on set could be. Even off camera in your personal life, wandering around the house, chasing each other around when you're writing, working on little cue card talks for Smallville night stuff, right? This is what relationships built on friendship and trust and fun is all about. So this is the picture here of the top of that poem. Now I didn't make this, I didn't dub this, I didn't write these words. It just is what it is. What could be worse than losing the person that you love? And he doesn't hide it, doesn't say anything but the truth. It's just honesty. Nothing. Right? Because it is what it is, right? If he's not feeling anything, if there's nothing there, and the answer just simply is no, then it is what it is. And it's going to hurt somebody, right? Breaking up is never fair. It's always going to bother somebody, or turning down an invitation to be liked uh, and be with somebody when you're not feeling what they're feeling back. You just can't be forced into that by guilt and try to ignore it, right? It's just, you have to learn to go on. If you don't fight for it hard enough, but someone else does, then this is what happens. So if you're too passive, right? If you're too soft, too quiet, too laid back because you just wish and want and wait and watch and stare and think you're sending off the vibes and message without talking. If you don't write poetry, if you don't write songs, if you don't sing, if you don't serenade, if you don't send anonymous cards or letters or pictures or do things, right? If you don't want something bad enough that you do everything in your power to go after it, to change a person's perspective or view of you or what they're feeling or thinking, right? Then you're not going to get anything. It's not going to go anywhere or grow at all in any way. So from that perspective, the writer in this situation writes this story in that Smallville environment, that space. So she calls it Tom. And he's like, "Oh, well, whoever this Tom guy is the luckiest guy in the world, because it's a beautiful poem, which she wrote for a contest. So it's called a love poem. I love you more. This you see. I love you more. So come to me. Your name has three. It fits like fate. And love me true, the way I am, now with you. To pen such word over love so pure, to put up fist over you. Fight for it. Your soul to keep, yes, so true. Love for you is a kick. Can't stay the cuts. To stop the pour of what is writ from the heart. To risk it all in a hope so true that you will come to love me too. And make this poem one to keep, yes, in mind, a spot so pure, it's for you to read and to grin over what I did to win your life, a part of mine, my love and your love, to yoke till the end of a time, a gift from God that He won't tell, so you can see me true in the risk I took for you. To show what I feel, to win you over, to be with me, to love back just as much and share the joy in how it ends with us in hand, you and me, as we walk into the light of each day so it can be seen. How a true poem from deep in her can win the love of that good man it was all for, and live in glow as he does give true love a kiss. To say his way, yes, he will stay, now that you have won him over to that end. Only time will tell how much true joy will be had, and how many years for you too it will be over this poem and love story. Each new year it is read to mark the date of the time to pass as you cure the place in mind this love poem took its hold. Love can just go on and on. What a trick. When you see you have to put it out, take that risk with what you feel. If you want to win your love from him and have the life that goes with it, to pour your heart out, to let him know how near it's been, so he can look, find, and see all the love that has been there in front of him. I love you more, this you see. I love you more, so come to me. Your name has three, it fits like fate. So come to me and love me true, the way I am now with you. The end. And so that's the point of the reading. And that's the point of let's talk about toe mowing. Can you do that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get it? Does anybody get it? Will anybody ever get it? And so that's what makes the future interesting, because we don't know what it's going to be, what's coming next, how it's going to work. With every episode of this that I make and these things I talk about and confessing things about him without saying things the way he's saying, if you don't know, then I'm not telling you. But if you do know and you know, then I can't stop you. And of course, I'm fine with that, because that's the right way, the right one. And that's the right reason. And then, of course, all the excitement that goes professionally in between that communication in the Smallville nights and the potential new movie work that I suggest we do in animation as the cartoon I just showed everybody. So that's my Let's Talk About Tom Milling episode for tonight. I'm going to go. We're at 30 minutes. Peace out. Come back for my special Smallville Nights episode material from the Smallville Reunion movie, Book 1. Bye for now. This is Superwoman signing out, aka at this time of the year, also known as Miss Claus. I'm going to be out handing out baked goods in a Miss Claus outfit here in Gatineau and Ottawa while I'm here on this side of the country. So if you see me and you like good food, be a big kid at heart and come and taste some wares and support everything that I do. Bye. Have a good night.